Good morning. My topic name is Revitalizing the Craftsmen of Pune. So, where it all started, the interest in this topic arose when I helped my senior in her project regarding the craft. So, what is craft? Craft is a host of activities and hobbies which are related to making objects, product with one own hand skills. This could also be known as handicraft. It was seen that the craftsmen enjoy the joy and excellence of their own work. This was also known as craft because a group of people or family had refined their skills professionally into it. So, why did the craft decline? Did the Industrial Revolution and increase in the machines, the role of profession craft reduce gradually or become less as the machine produced the same product in industries at a lower price? And now we commonly see this craft as a hobby. Moving towards the history of Pune, Pune city was center of Maratha rule, which was established by Shivaji Maharaj. During 18th century, Pune has appointed as political center. Therefore, this is a city which has strong history of almost 400 years and it is also known as cultural capital of Maharashtra. In 1950s, Pune had a traditional economy, but this had evolved in 18th century. This development was initiated in center of the city, that is Kasba Pet. During the reign of Peshwa in 1700, they invited people from different parts of India who were professional, skillful, and to start their business and profession in the capital city, like Tambad, Kumbhar, and Burur. So these people worked together, lived together in the streets, and which were known as Aris at that time. So, the Aris is a lane of the street in which the same profession people work together as a community like Kumbhar, Tambat Ari, Kumbhar Ari, Burud Ari, Tambaku Ari, Bandhar Ari. The different Aris are Tambaku Ari, Stationary Ari, and Bandhar Ari. The trade of this craftsman was in great amount during that period, but in the modern technology or modernization, the few craft could survive, but the craftsmen like Tambat, Kumbhar, and Burut could barely survive. The project focused on understanding how architecture can create a co-working space to resolve the problems of craftsmen of Pune city and also to enhance its trade by producing more products in new methods and train local people. The objective of the project is to have market area which could promote tourism, to provide work area for the craftsmen, to organize workshop for craftsmen where they could live, learn new modern products which are in demand, the place where young craftsmen could learn, introducing skills for the craftsmen in sustainable manner could create a permanent platform for them, and also to promote this old craftsmen of Pune to various parts of India. To produce, trade, and have professional workshop would be the primary scope of the project, and these are the limitations. Why is this project necessary? As we see in the history, the demand for this craftsman is more, but nowadays, due to modernization and urbanization, people neglect this old genuine product. Still, few families are dependent on this art. The NGO in Tech Pune always try to make this art known to all. The problem faced by the craftsman is the space problem, the problem for selling the products. Facilities such as toilet blocks are not provided. Few craftsmen do not have space to sell, so they sit along the roadside and sell the products. The second problem is the pollution problem. The burning of kiln and the firing process in Tambat and Kumbhar creates a lot of pollution. The third is a transportation problem. These craftsmen have been shifted from center of the city to outskirts, so they prepare their product in outskirts and bring them back to center. So this cause a transportation problem and a traffic issue for them. So there is need to revitalize these craftsmen, which allows them to work in a mixed environment and in making the product. Today the machine has a lot more importance, which cannot be denied. But it is also important to know that the revitalization of this craft is also important, and without changing their method, which is tradition and skillful and old. But to utilize their potential to work and teach them new ways to make the products and recreate the old products into newer way which could be accepted by the society. This could also help them to increase their income and help Indian economy. Mainly this will help to preserve the craft which is the core of the city. So moving towards understanding the three crafts. The first one is a tambat. It is seen that these people were invited from Konkan to Pune in 1600 and now the number of family has been reduced to 50 families and they now work in Old Wada in Pune or some of the people work individually. The process of Tambat Ari is seen in the images. So this is the copper sheet. They cut it along and join it. And this is a machine used to make the shape of the product. The firing process and at the end is the embossing and buffing process. These are few final products of Tambat Craftsman. After understanding the process, the spaces were listed down, which could be designed, and the area for it was designed as per the function and the area requirement for the person. The next is the Kumbhar. They were called from Gujarat to Pune in 1800, and the number of family at that time were 200, and now they are almost 20 to 25 families, and now they work in Mandwa, which is at the outskirts of the Pune. The process of Kumbhar Adi is seen in the images. The step of making pottery involves soil preparation and edging, and then molding it on the potter wheels and drying and putting it in the clean and then decorating it. These are few final products of the Kumbhar craftsman. After understanding the processes, the spaces were listed down, which could used to design, and the area for it was designed as per the function and the requirement of the person. The last is the Burud Ali. They were called from Junnar to Pune in 1800s. Now there are almost 15 to 20 families working in the Ganesh Pit. The process is shown in the images. These are few final products of Burud craftsmen. After understanding the processes, the spaces were listed down, which could be designed, and the area for it was designed as per the function and area requirement. Next comes the settlement study. Four settlement were studies. The first one is the Indonesia pottery, which is the Kilok village in Indonesia, and the learning outcome was that the village has good interaction between craftsmen, tourists, and traders. It was observed that the spaces which are used could be used as a common space for the pottery. As for example, the clean is common for 6-7 families. This could reduce pollution also. The second one is the Dharavi pottery, which is very famous in Mumbai, and here the spaces were small, and this caused many problems, as a clean was just behind the houses, which caused breathing problems for the people residing over there. No proper space was given for workshop and living. So the third one is the Tambat Ari of Pune, which identifies that a people work in group as well as an individual. They have workshop in front of their houses and also in Vada. The condition of working is not so well. During the rainy season, it is difficult for them to work. They don't have proper space as per their work. The fourth one is the Burud Ali in Pune, where people work on the roadside for outside their houses, make their products and sell them. They don't have proper spaces to work, store their products, which they really need to have. The case study Delhi Hat INA is situated in INA Delhi, and it's designed by Pradeep Sachdev, in which architect has used different material to distinguish a different path for the walkways, shopping lanes, and pathways. There is also a colonnade veranda created which is used by tourists to look into the shops and choose the product or overview it. The design flow is in such a way that it maintains the admin in the entrance to control the tourist and then the shops, as people could walk the whole side, so the cafe is placed at the end. The second is a tribal art museum situated in Bhopal and is designed by architect Raviti Kamath. It is very good experiential structure which makes you understand the life of tribal people through the spaces. The concept of geometry is well seen in the plan. The architect used local material to express the tribal living of the artisans. Through the structure, it is seen that it is beautifully designed in a vernacular way. The third one is Delhi Hat Janakpuri. It is situated in Dhanakpuri, Delhi Hat, and is designed by Acroham firm. Here, the architect has beautifully used local materials in contemporary way. The pathways are so gracefully designed that the user won't get interrupted. The use of light is seen in some areas through the slab. Number of ramps were provided to go to the different levels. Proper design of green space was done wherever required. Comparative analysis. In this, the points which were understood were location, site area, authority, connectivity, plan, user, purpose of case study, vertical regularity, types of spaces, planning, construction materials, and inferences. The research focused on understanding the construction material with bamboo and mud and how to apply it in design and how it could help the environment. The objective is to understand the mud as a brick, as a ramped earth with straw built, compressed earth blocks, and water tap. And for bamboo, it is understood as a bamboo reinforced concrete, roofing material, and walling system. As we see, the mud it could be used and reused again once it is the scrap of the brick could be then go back to earth. And these are the few advantages of bamboo. It has high tensile strength, fire resistance, elasticity is good, and the weight of the bamboo is less, and it is cost effective. Understanding the mud. The first one is mud as sun-dried bricks. So the in the first image, it is seen that the mortar is the same mix of brick, but it is in muddy state. The size of the brick is the size of the brick. The molds are used which are of wood or metal. The second one is a ramped earth. So this is the steps how the ramped earth construction is done. The third is a mud with straw bale. The straw bale is a tubercle stalk of the grass such as wheat, rice, which has high tensile strength. The hay is different than the straw used here. The rice grass is significant in silica and are dense and can resist to decomposition. The fourth is mud as wattle top. It has framing of bamboo and then the mud is plastered over it. After this, the study of all the properties such as structural capability, thermal mass, insulation, fire resistance, durability, and the environmental impact and the embodied energy of all the material has been studied. After understanding the material, these are the design consideration taken care of. There must be overhangs. The exterior walls should not come in direct contact with rain measures. The rain measures and how the foundation should be protected. So the table explains the characteristics of the study and how in the climate it could be designed. The pointers studied were the wall thickness, structural system, structural capability, thermal mass, insulation, fire resistance, embodied energy, and the suitable climate for the construction. The second material is bamboo. Bamboo as reinforced concrete. The mix and the proportion is same as used in RCC and the construction techniques are also same. After understanding the properties of bamboo, it is seen that the bamboo reinforced concrete deflects due to low density, but the flexural strength is almost the same as the reinforced steel reinforced concrete. Hence, it would be used where the load is less. Using bamboo reinforced concrete would also reduce the cost and also reduce the environmental effect. There are few walling system of bamboo. The first one is a woolen bamboo wall, whole bamboo wall, vertical half clumps, wattle daub method. The next is the roofing system by bamboo, a roofing material. The first is a half clump used for roofing, the corrugated sheets used for roofing, the plaster bamboo, and the last one is the mat of bamboo for roofing. Next research focuses on understanding the problems of craftsmen in their processes and introducing new technology. The main problem of Tambat is firing process which cause pollution. The copper coil for heating the vessels of the Tambat people could be used which could reduce the pollution and replace the firing process. The problem faced by the Kumbhar is clean which makes pollution and it could be replaced by gas or electrical clean which also saves the time and also reduces the pollution. Design program. The project will not only promote the craftsmen but also connect the people tourists with craftsmen. The tourist would experience the craft by living in the village. The project will consist of three main parts. The first one is the market area. The second is a workshop for craftsmen. Third is a tourist attracting spaces such as cafe, green spaces, and the shops. So this is the area program done after the case study and understanding the craft. The site selection criteria after doing the case study whether the site must be close to tourist place or must have good connectivity. It should be reserved for PSP zone or institutional area and the area must be 10 to 11 acres. The site is marked in yellow and as in DP we could see it is reserved for PSP. The site data. The neighboring districts of Pune are Raigad, Satara, Solapur, Thane, Ahmednagar. It is situated in Deccan Plateau, which is 560 meters above the sea level. The Mula Mutha is a major drain, and the city has underground sewer lines. The water supply is 120 liters per day per person. and the timing is 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The soil type is deep and medium black soil. The connectivity. The site is along the secondary road and it is 6 kilometers away from Pune station and bus stop and is 1 kilometer away from the Khadki railway station. As we see in the DP, the brown one marked is the transportation hub which is proposed, and the arrow here it is the STP which is just close proximity to the site. Climatical analysis and passive design strategies. The trees should be located along the west side of the site. The ventilation could be stacked or cross ventilation. There would be overhang above the window so that the rays in the summer could not come inside the space, and in winter the sun rays are inside the space. In daytime of summers, evaporative cooling and ventilation can bring comfort during the night time. In monsoon, ventilation is necessary for comfort level. In winter months, it is natural. The building facade should be 90 degree to the direction of the wind, and the thickness of the wall should be more so that it could maintain the temperature of the room. After understanding the sections of the site, this is how the slope of the site is, through which we could understand the highest and the lowest point of the site, and the red one marks could be the entries, the different entries of the site, and blue one could be the service entry. And as per the highest and the lowest point, the services could be designed for the site. The site area is 4.6 hectares and the total built up should be 40% of the site. After understanding the SWOT analysis, it is seen that the site is well connected by the bus stop and the station. Thank you.